I'm Edward Otto Zelke, and let's queer up gay culture. Oscars and LGBTQ plus representation, historic wins, persistent gaps, and the ongoing fight for visibility. The 98th Academy Awards took place yesterday, and sadly, it looked way more straight. However, this has not always been the case. The history of LGBTQ plus representation at the Academy Awards has been marked by breakthrough moments. A major turning point came in 2005 when Brokeback Mountain earned 3 Oscars from 8 nominations, bringing queer storytelling into Hollywood mainstream. More than a decade later, Moonlight made history in 2017 as the first LGBTQ plus film and the first with an all-black main cast to win Best Picture. Representation milestones continued. In 2024, Spanish actor Karla Sofía Gascón became the first transgender performer nominated for Best Actress for Emilia Pérez. Despite such moments, LGBTQ plus creators and actors remain underrepresented at the Oscars. Historically, straight actors have often won awards for portraying queer characters, while openly LGBTQ plus performers receive fewer nominations. In 2024, Colman Domingo became the only second openly gay man nominated for Best Actor following Ian McKellen. Meanwhile, Jodie Foster remains the only queer woman to win Best Actress. Jeremy Blacklow of GLAAD told Vanity Fair, quote, LGBTQ plus actors have long faced blatant employment discrimination and have felt forced to hide their sexual orientation and or gender identity if they hope to work at all, end quote. As the industry looks ahead to future ceremonies, advocates continue pushing for broader and more authentic LGBTQ plus representation in Hollywood. Will 2027 be any better? Only time will tell. Well, for decades, we've had, queer artists and stories. They've always helped shape our cinema. It's been, I think, within the last 25, 30 years that I've just been starting to see more of that. And, I remember people like, I remember stories like Will and Grace, let's just say, where we had, the first gay TV show where we're seeing, gay characters and stuff. And yet we did have an actor, portraying the main character who was straight playing it. So, and then we had a secondary character who was really gay playing a gay. So it took so long just to get that component on TV. And now we're here 2 decades later and we're still trying to fight for it. Yep. And this year we were, once again, not overlooked as a community.
Yeah. Listen, yesterday were the Oscars, and it's usually very queer centric, and I like Edward said, there were so many spots and so many spaces where I was just like, ooh, like something's missing here, But let's, I want to say that Autumn Durad Arkapaw, she made history as the first woman to win an Oscar for Best Cinematography for Sinners. Okay, that's huge. Yeah. How is it that she's the first woman? Okay, like this is, you know what I mean? Like if women are still striving to not be the second class, like it boggles my mind how much work we have to do. You know what I mean? So let's talk some Hollywood math. The Academy Awards loves a queer story, as long as a straight actor's playing it, right? Since the first ceremony in 1929, only a handful of openly out LGBTQ performers have won major acting Oscars. Yes, we had the little breakthroughs like Moonlight, right? But that was years ago. And Brokeback Mountain was decades ago. Poor Jodie Foster is still carrying that weight of being, you know what I mean? How long is she carrying that weight? You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, they're still struggling to cast us in their stuff. You know what I mean? And it was reflected yesterday.
Well, I have to say, and I agree, we need to have more representation, and it's great. I don't really care for this story. It's very anecdotal. It seems very based on feels, because it leaves out 3 queer wins in just what we would all consider recent history. Ariana DeBose won for Best Supporting Actress.
That was not this year, though.
No. But I'm talking like it was like in 2021 or 2022. Within the last 5 years. Billie Eilish has won back-to-back Oscars. I think like the last 2 or 2 of the last 3.
Her and her brother, the song. You're right.
Yeah. So there is a lot. I don't want to really slam the Academy because I do believe they're trying. I know several members of the Academy, and there is a lot of pro LGBTQ representation that gets talked about. And the one of my friends is very new to the Academy, another is a longtime member, and the longtime member says that just the openness and the push towards inclusiveness has not gone away. It is continuing to grow, even if we don't really see it on Extra or Access Hollywood.
But I don't understand the stigma. Why can't a gay man play, a gay actor play a gay man in a movie? What's the big stigma with all that? I mean, they did that years ago when they had Indians in the cowboy and Indian movies, and the Asian, characters were all played by white men, or just, I don't know what the stigmas are. It's kind of crazy. And I mean, gay people are talented. We're flamboyant. We're fun.
I mean, I'm sorry, please, John.
I was going to say, but I am still fine with Patrick Swayze playing a big old drag queen like Tu Wong Fu. So I'm just saying.
Me too.
If you're hot enough, street people,
oh my goodness,
I'm here for it.
Listen, and if you didn't watch the Academy Awards, go watch snippets, okay? Michael B. Jordan's acceptance speech was just beyond. I could not stop crying, okay? Because I was just so happy for him. I can tell at the Golden Globes, he talked about his mom and about not having enough money to cross the Holland Tunnel, and I've been there. That's Jersey to New York for you people that don't know. And that his mom would find her little pennies and get them across that bridge so he can go to a casting in New York. I mean, and now he got the highest coveted, that trophy that there is, the Oscars. You know what I mean? As a black man, he's representing all of us. That's how I took it. I mean, Manesh, anything to say?
I like you said, I do think that the representation is still struggling, but just like you said, John, that they are at least being intentional about trying to include folks. I have also been able to see more trans identifying folks inside of a few films on like Netflix and things of that nature.
Good point.
So they are taking those necessary steps, but it is still kind of struggling in that space of support.
100%. Yeah. Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.